Next, we got the NHL's first season. Made no sense. Now we are still continuing my NHL journey. All right. Now, last video we did hour-long reaction, learning about the teams. If you want to go check that video out, it's in my hockey playlist. But today, first season. Now we do have another video talking about the Coyotes. I hope. Actually, now I think about it, because I think it was a couple teams that got disfranchised. So hopefully, like, this is like a full video on that. That'd be nice. But shout out to Hectic Hockey. Shout out to him. Y'all go subscribe. But hey, want more NHL videos? Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. Let's just
NHL season was nothing short of remarkable. We saw an arena burn down, players get arrested for using their sticks as swords, and a high-flying offense. Many of the events that took place during the league's inaugural season would never even be considered happening in today's league. While much of the craziness—
Wait. I remember saying this. Remember, I was talking about when I was talking about the last video.
Real season.
How everybody wears suits back in the day. I didn't even know it was a law. You had to wear a suit. So that's why everybody doing it. You had to wear a suit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Would never even be considered happening in today's league. While much of the craziness took place during the season, even the league was created through controversy. Okay. The year is 1917, and the biggest professional hockey league, the National Hockey Association, just disbanded. The league mainly folded because of the shady moves made by Toronto Shamrocks team owner Eddie Livingstone. Livingstone made some pretty questionable decisions that infuriated the NHA. Before the 1915-1916 season, Livingstone purchased another NHA team, the Toronto Blue Shirts, making him the only owner to own 2 franchises in the league. Because Livingstone now held more negotiating power than the rest of the league asked him to sell the Shamrocks. He agreed to do so, but several months had passed and no change was made. During this time, Livingstone was moving players from the Shamrocks to the Toronto Blue Shirts, leaving the Shamrocks to rot.
Yo, that's literally broken, bro. That's literally broken. Oh my god.
Stripped of the Shamrocks franchise. Livingstone then went further to piss the league off, causing him to now have to sell the Blue Shirts. Again, Livingstone didn't sell the team. Instead, he sued the NHA. And by this time, the owners of the Canadiens, Wanderers, Senators, and Bulldogs were fed up with Livingstone's childish behavior. But they couldn't just ban him from the league, as the NHA's constitution did not allow them to just expel him.
Okay, we gotta read this. Slow motion for me. There we go. Association is called the National Hockey Association. The objects of the association are to perpetrate hockey as national game and to, what is that? Surrounded with much safeguards as the variant public confidence in its integrity and methods. Okay, to protect and promote the mutual interests of professional hockey clubs of the association and its players. Okay, so go down here. Officers of the association shall be a president, secretary. Okay, president. What is it? Oh yeah, president shall. Don't know what that word is. At all meetings. Prende. All meetings of the association and discharge duties. Okay.
Expel him from the league. So instead of trying to resolve the conflict, the other 4 owners simply just suspended the NHA's operations and made an entire new hockey league 2 weeks later, known as the National Hockey League. So yeah, the NHL was created just because the other team owners couldn't deal with Livingstone, and they would rather start a new league from scratch than have to do business with this man. So just like that, the NHL was created with 4 teams participating in it: the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Arenas, the Ottawa Senators, and the Montreal Wanderers. And fans were super eager for the start of the season. Well, maybe not. Only about 700 fans showed up to the league's first 2 games on December 19th, 1917, which featured a match between the Montreal Wanderers and the Toronto Arenas, and the other match was the Montreal Canadiens against the Ottawa Senators. And these games were not even close to the hockey we know today. At the start of the NHL, Players used wood sticks, which weighed about 5 pounds, compared to the sticks today, where they weigh about 13 ounces.
Wow.
They also didn't wear helmets, which led to some pretty gruesome injuries.
Man.
Also, at the start of the NHL...
Oh, also, I got a question out. So, in which I pray that it didn't happen, but did anyone, KO by playing hockey? Hopefully, it didn't happen, but let me know in the comments.
Huge rule was implemented for goalies. Goalies could now drop to their knees to save the puck, which wasn't allowed in the NHA. In the NHA, if a goaltender were to drop to his knees before this rule was assessed, a penalty would occur.
Oh, that is terrible.
There were some concerns that this rule might have slowed scoring down a little, but that was no worry, as there were about 5...
Okay, bro. Like, yo. It ain't no way, bro, at his toes right now, bro. No helmet on. No helmet. And I bet you, remember, everybody didn't even know how to play the sport for real. Everybody really just learning. Remember, these are high school teachers and janitors. These aren't they wasn't grown they whole life trying to play hockey, and now this literally just came as they was living. So they don't even know how to play the sport. So they barely know how to use a stick. And you diving at niggas' toes, they about to slice your motherfucking head off. Oh my god, yo, what the... Bro, this is dangerous, bro. This is way too dangerous.
There were some concerns that this rule might have slowed scoring down a little, but that was no worry, as there were about 5 goals going in the net for each team every game. I guess that's just what happens when your goalies look like this. So, with new rules, the NHL continued on with these 4 teams battling night in and night out. Well, that's how it was for about 6 games. The Montreal Wanderers actually had to leave the league as the arena they played in, the Montreal Arena, burned to the ground. The fire started in the ice-making plant, causing the arena to burn down on January 2nd, 1918. The fire began midday when the only people in the building were the superintendent and his family, who escaped safely. The damage was estimated at $150,000, which is equivalent to a whopping $3.5 million in today's currency. And those damages included the uniforms and sticks of the Wanderers and the Canadiens organizations, with only a third of that damage being covered by insurance. The fire led the Montreal Wanderers, who were already not doing well, to disband within days. They figured that since they were already the worst team in the league, they might as well just resign. The Canadiens then had to move into the Jubilee Arena for the rest of the season, which actually happened to also burn down that April. How the NHL worked that season was different from what we've ever seen. There were actually 2 halves to the season, and the winners of each half faced each other in the playoffs. So the winners of the first half of the season were the Montreal Canadiens going 10-4, and the winners of the second half of the season were the Toronto Arenas going 5-3. So the Arenas and the Canadiens were getting ready for a fierce 7-game series, winner takes all. Just kidding. The NHL champion was actually decided by a 2-game total goal series. So whatever team scored the most goals in a 2-game span were crowned the champions, and that ended up being the Toronto Arenas, scoring 10 goals to the...
What if they go back to that? Would that be a W or L? If they go back to you play 2 games, whoever scored the most wins. And nowadays, just like we seen with the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, the whole first game they scored what, 2 goals? I think it was 2-1, right? It was like 2-1. So imagine you only one team score, and they score 1 time. They score 1 goal and y'all lose by 1 goal. Y'all couldn't get 1 goal in 2 games. I ain't gonna lie, that low key would make NHL a little bit more fun, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that shit low key do that. I would like to see that, or maybe some type of, I don't know, like spin off there, do some like that would be nice too. Hold on, NHL, if you listening, I need 10%. But listen, if you could, all the teams that didn't make it, say they all, or actually just like how the NBA do. It'd be the teams that didn't make it, right? They'd be like the bottoms. They'd be like the bottom seeds. To get in the playoffs, they play each other. So that could be what they do. They could play each other, and then it'd be whoever get the most goals in 2 games. That's low key not bad. That's low key not bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's not bad.
Canadiens 7. The arenas were then named the.
Then that's how you know the Red Wings would have got in. The Red Wings would have got in, bro. If they did something like that.
Arenas scoring 10 goals to the Canadians 7. The arenas were then named...
Is that Messi? Messi. It's no way. Messi is every... This dude, Messi.
Arenas scoring 10 goals to the Canadians 7. The arenas were then named the NHL champions and would face the Pacific Coast Hockey Association champion for the Stanley Cup. The Pacific Coast Hockey Association, or better known as the PCHA, was a hockey league based out of the western United States and western Canada, and it encompassed 6 teams: the Vancouver Millionaires, the Victoria Senators, the Seattle Metropolitans, the Portland Rosebuds, the Spokane Canaries, and the New Westminster Royals. The PCHA champion that year ended up being the Vancouver Millionaires after they defeated the regular season champs, the Seattle Metropolitans, in a 2-game playoff, the same format as the NHL. In a series held entirely in Toronto, the arenas won the series by 3-2 in a best-of-5 series to win the Stanley Cup, with Alf Skinner leading the way with 10 points in 5 games. So, just like that, with only one arena burning to the ground and one team leaving the league simply because they were losing, the first NHL season was in the books. The leading point getter in the league was the Canadiens' own Joe Malone, scoring 44 goals and just 4 assists for 48 points in 20 games. And on the same team, the best goalie in the league would be Vezina, going 12-9 with a 3.93 goals against average. A lot has changed in the NHL since 1917, so I'll just rattle off some facts for you. Since its inaugural season, 7,623 players have played in the NHL. Toronto's Harry Cameron was rumored to be the NHL's highest paid player in 1917, earning him $900 per season.
Okay.
Now, Nathan McKinnon is making $12.6 million.
That's crazy.
Only 700 people showed up to the first NHL game. Now NHL arenas can hold around 18,000 people, except for the Coyotes, who might...
But we already know, you know what I'm saying, with the money situation. We already know back in the day, you know, smaller, where everything was lower, you know what I'm saying. I think some of y'all watching this video, if you was alive back in, I'd probably say, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, I think I used to hear stories like you could go to the store with like $5 and get a lot of things with $5. Nowadays, if you go to the store with $5, you will walk out empty-handed. Okay, you won't get shit. All right, so times changed, bro. $900 back then, it's crazy. That's probably that's like millions.
NHL
like millions
arenas can hold around 18,000 people, except for the Coyotes, who might still be getting 700 people a game. In 1917, the maximum driving speed in most American cities was just 10 miles an hour. Today, some NHL players have been clocked at skating more than 30 miles an hour. And finally, throughout the 100 years of the NHL, the league has grown from 4 solely Canadian teams to 32 teams across all of North America. The evolution of the NHL from its humble beginnings to the modern day has undoubtedly been a fascinating journey, marked by significant transformations and very necessary changes. I mean, imagine a time when players didn't have helmets protecting their heads or even visors protecting their faces from flying pucks and sticks. We see enough face and head injuries nowadays. I can't even imagine what it was like back in the early days of hockey, especially when players were carrying around 5-pound weapons. In the inaugural season of the NHL, players Alf Skinner and Joe Hall were involved in a stick-swinging duel in Toronto, attempting to bash each other's heads with their sticks while using them like swords. Both players were arrested by Toronto police, and the league fined them $15.
Okay.
So it's good that the NHL has made the necessary
$15, bro. God damn, $15. Okay, buddy.
$15. So it's good that the NHL has made the necessary equipment changes. The NHL we know today is a multi-billion-dollar organization with 32 teams, but we must remember that the NHL couldn't have been what it is today without the controversial and incredibly wild first season it had.
Wow. Let me know if y'all want more of these old videos. I think it's probably some more. So I got y'all.